Alright, listen up, because what I'm about to tell you sounds like a scam, feels like a hustle, but is 100% legal. Right now, across the US, there's a loophole in maritime law so powerful that regular people, without any marina, mechanic, or boating background, are flipping abandoned boats for tens of thousands in profit. No auctions, no lawsuits, just dusty docks, paperwork, and cash. I'm talking yachts, cruisers, and sailboats that once sold for six figures, changing hands for just a few $1,000s, then hitting the resale market days later at massive markups. It's not fraud, it's not piracy, it's perfectly legal. And it's happening everywhere from Miami to Seattle. In this video, I'm diving into the secret boat flipping loophole that's making people rich, how it works, who's using it, and why it's about to get a lot more popular. If you've ever dreamed of owning a boat, or making serious money without ever setting sail, this is your wake-up call. Let's get into it. What if I told you there's a legal backdoor that lets you take ownership of a six-figure boat for the price of a used jet ski? No sketchy auctions, no shady deals, no chasing down desperate owners, just paperwork, timing, and a deep understanding of one of the most overlooked systems in American law, maritime liens. It sounds insane, but it's real, and it's happening right now in marinas all over the country. This isn't some fringe hustle for the hyper-connected. This is a legitimate process buried in decades-old statutes that most people, even boat owners, have never even heard of. The core of it? A process called a possessory lien. If a boat is left unpaid and seemingly abandoned, often just sitting in a slip racking up fees, a third party can step in, file paperwork, pay the debt, and, after a waiting period, become the legal owner. It's that simple, and that dangerous. Let's break that down. Say there's a 30-foot cruiser sitting in a marina in Florida. It hasn't moved in months. The registration's expired, no one's touched it, and the owners ghosted the marina. That boat is costing the dock thousands in unpaid rent. Normally, the marina might try to chase the owner or file a claim themselves, but many don't bother. Too much hassle, too much red tape. That's where the flipper steps in. They check public records, confirm the boat meets the legal criteria for abandonment, and file a possessory lien. Depending on the state, that lien starts a clock, anywhere from 30 to 90 days. If the owner doesn't respond, the lien holder can assume title. And just like that, the boat changes hands legally. No court case, no auction block, no drama. It's all perfectly legal, and that's what makes it so wild. These aren't derelict junkers either. We're talking late-model Benettos, Sea Rays, Catalinas, boats people once paid serious money for during the pandemic boom. But as inflation hit, interest rates soared, and reality set in, thousands of owners walked away. Their boats are now floating liabilities, ripe for the taking. This loophole isn't new. It's been sitting in state and federal law for decades, designed originally to help marinas deal with abandoned vessels. What's changed is awareness. People have caught on. Social media, online forums, and YouTube channels are now spreading the word, turning what was once an obscure legal mechanism into a cottage industry of boat flipping. The question is, how long will it last? With more people jumping in, more states tightening rules, and more marinas catching on, this window might not stay open forever. But for now, the opportunity is real, the process is legal, and the profits are shocking. Let's talk mechanics. Because this isn't just a wild story, it's a repeatable process. Once you understand how abandoned boats legally turn into cold, hard cash, you'll see exactly why so many people are jumping into the game. It's not about being lucky, it's about knowing the rules and using them to your advantage. It all starts with an idle boat. Maybe it was bought in the pandemic rush, someone chasing freedom on the water in 2020, financing a dream they couldn't really afford. Fast forward to today. Interest rates have tripled, maintenance costs have spiked, and the owner's priorities have shifted. That once cherished cruiser is now a burden. And it's sitting at a marina, racking up unpaid fees. Once that boat sits untouched long enough, usually 30 to 90 days, depending on the state, it can be legally declared abandoned. That's when the money opportunity begins. Using state laws and federal maritime rules, anyone can file a possessory lien on that boat. You don't have to be the marina owner. You don't need to be a mechanic. You just need to follow the legal steps. Step 1. Do your homework. Boat flippers scour marinas, online records, and even satellite imagery to spot likely targets. They look for signs, expired tags, algae buildup, missing power cords. Then they confirm status through county property records and Coast Guard databases. Step 2. Make the move. If the boat qualifies, the flipper pays the back marina fees, sometimes as little as a few $1,000s, files the lien paperwork with the proper authorities, and starts the legal waiting clock. During this time, the original owner can still come back and settle up, but most don't. Step 3. Claim the title. After the waiting period expires without objection or repayment, the claimant files for ownership transfer. Once that's approved, they now own the boat outright, free and clear, with a clean title ready to be flipped. From there, the rest is business. The boat is cleaned, photographed, listed, and sold, sometimes in days. Many are flipped online to buyers in Mexico, the Caribbean, or domestic DIYers looking for a deal. Depending on the condition, margins can be massive. Boats acquired for under $5,000 have sold for over $80,000. All legal, all documented. This isn't just theory, it's already happening. Online groups are sharing leads. Some flippers run local scouts, others operate remotely, hiring contractors to inspect, clean, and list boats in different states. It's a system now, with repeatable steps and scalable results, but it's not without risk. Paperwork errors, disputed ownership, or sudden law changes can stall a deal or tank a profit. Still, for those who play it right, it's become one of the most under-the-radar money-making plays in the market today. So when you hear abandoned boat, don't think junk, think opportunity, because for the savvy few, these floating liabilities are fast becoming liquid assets. Maritime liens sound complicated, but at their core, they're simply legal claims tied to a boat when a debt goes unpaid. The big difference: unlike a car or a house, maritime liens travel with the vessel, not the owner. That means even if a boat changes hands, a properly filed lien can still be enforced, and that's where things get very real. Very fast. Marinas use liens to recoup unpaid slip fees. Mechanics file them for unpaid labor. Salvage crews file them after recovering drifting or sunken boats. And increasingly, savvy individuals are using liens to gain legal control of abandoned boats, then flipping them for profit. The process is specific and varies by state, but generally involves 1. Proving the debt exists, 2. Notifying the owner, and 3. Filing the lien with the appropriate county or federal office. If no one contests it, the lien can lead to title transfer or a forced sale, and once that title is clear, the boat is legally theirs to sell. But here's what most people miss. Maritime liens are powerful because they bypass many traditional legal hurdles. There's no need for court intervention unless the owner fights back. For boats that are idle, unpaid, and ignored, the lien acts as a quiet, legal path to ownership. The truth is, maritime lien law hasn't kept up with modern times. It was designed decades ago to protect working ships, not recreational boats. But the language is still there, and it still works. That's why it's being used, and sometimes abused, by those who understand the system better than the people it was meant to protect. Walk the docks of almost any marina today, and you'll see them. Boats sitting quietly, untouched for months. Their decks are dusty, their lines are loose, and they're missing any sign of life. These are the ghost boats of the post-pandemic era, and they're everywhere. It didn't start this way. In 2020 and 2021, marinas were overflowing with new buyers. Boat sales surged as people chased isolation, adventure, and the dream of life on the water. But boats are expensive to own, and that reality hit hard when inflation spiked and interest rates climbed. Many of those boats were bought on loans, often with low teaser rates that have since reset. Combine that with rising marina fees, insurance costs, and maintenance bills, and you've got a financial time bomb. For thousands of owners, walking away felt easier than keeping up. But unlike cars, boats don't just vanish. They sit, they wait, and they cost the marina money every month they go unpaid. Some owners disappear entirely. Others argue with dockmasters until they're locked out. Either way, the result is the same: a growing fleet of ghost boats, abandoned in plain sight, waiting for someone to legally take them. The idea of flipping a defaulted boat for profit might sound like something reserved for shady characters or offshore dealings, but in today's market, it's happening legally, quietly, and more often than most people realize. With thousands of vessels sitting unpaid and forgotten in marinas across the country, there's a clear path from financial distress to financial opportunity, and more people are learning how to turn those neglected assets into serious cash. The starting point is always the same: a boat that's no longer being paid for. That could mean unpaid slip fees at a marina, a delinquent loan, or an owner who's simply vanished. Often, these boats are in decent condition. Some were barely used. Many were purchased during the pandemic when interest rates were low and boating looked like the perfect socially distanced escape. But 3 years later, with high interest, inflation, and economic pressure mounting, those boats have become liabilities. For the right person, that liability is a goldmine. When a boat is left unpaid and inactive for a certain period, it can be legally considered abandoned. That triggers a set of processes that, in most states, allow for a lien to be filed against the vessel. That lien, if uncontested, can turn into a full title transfer, effectively handing over ownership to the person who filed. If done correctly, that new owner now holds a clean title and a valuable asset. The key is understanding the paperwork and the timing. Those who do this successfully start by identifying viable boats, usually through marina visits, satellite images, or local networks. They look for signs of inactivity and verify with public records. If the situation checks out, they approach the marina and offer to settle the unpaid balance, usually a few $1,000s at most. That payment gives them the right to initiate a lien. Once the lien is filed and the statutory waiting period passes, often between 30 and 90 days, the original owner loses claim if they don't act. The claimant then submits for title transfer, and once approved, the boat is theirs to sell, lease, or keep. Many choose to flip it immediately, listing on Facebook Marketplace, Yacht World, Craigslist, or through brokers. Some boats are cleaned and detailed, others sold as is. The profit margins can be staggering. Boats acquired for $3,000 to $5,000 routinely sell for $50,000 to $70,000, depending on model and condition. Some flippers specialize in mid-size cruisers or sailboats under 35 feet, while others go after larger yachts that fetch six-figure resale prices overseas. This isn't a risk-free strategy. There are legal details to manage, and disputes can arise, but it's entirely above board. The process is legal, the gains are real, and for those willing to do the homework, flipping defaulted boats is proving to be one of the most overlooked opportunities in today's market. So, there you have it, the hidden world of boat flipping, where abandoned dreams become real profits for those who know how to navigate the system. It's not a scam. It's not some back-alley hustle. It's the result of outdated maritime laws colliding with modern economic pressure, and people are cashing in while most of the world has no idea it's happening. But here's the catch. This window won't stay open forever. As more people catch on, as states tighten the rules, and as marinas learn to protect their assets, the game will change. What's easy today might be gone tomorrow. So, if you're curious about getting involved, or just want to protect what you already own, now is the time to learn how this system really works. And if this opened your eyes even a little, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Maybe a boat owner, maybe someone dreaming about buying one, maybe someone looking for a creative way to build something of their own. Because the truth is, in this economy, the line between liability and opportunity is razor thin, and knowing the rules is the only way to stay afloat.